Okay, hello everyone. My name is Miss McCoy, and we are going to go into just a quick lesson on human body organization. This lesson is actually going to build upon what we talked about yesterday with our hierarchical organization of biology. So we looked at kind of the big scale of that yesterday. So we're going to build upon that today, with the goal of going into the human body systems, which is what your big project is on, is your muscular system. So we're going to just kind of go a little bit more in depth with our human body organization today. So where I want you to start, what I want you to do is just imagine something. Imagine that you are building a city. You basically have a blank landscape, you're building a city. What specific things would you need in order to start building that city? So I'm going to want you to brainstorm a quick list of 5 different items, just a couple of different items that you would need to start building that city. I want you to think of all the things, all the way down to the really small things that you might need, up to bigger, kind of building that city. Okay. I'll let you continue to just kind of write those down, think about it in your mind. Okay, so we're going to start really small. So to start building that city, we need a brick, right? It's kind of your building block. You need bricks. But then we can't really do much with just one brick. So we're going to kind of add on to that brick. Kind of stack those bricks on top of each other so we can actually kind of form something. And once we get enough of those bricks together, we have a wall. So we have our blank wall here. But again, just like with one brick, we can't really do much with one brick. And you can't really do much with one wall. So we're going to add on. We're going to put more walls on the side of that wall. So you have the walls on your side here. You have your top. That would be a roof. But another wall. There you go. You have a building. But is your city done? Your city isn't done yet. So you're going to do that again. You're going to build another building and another building until you have your city that you want. So think about that. Keep this in your mind as we go into our human body. So just like we have our bricks, our human body has a cell. This is our smallest thing that we're going to be looking at. But again, there's many different types of cells. Right now we're just going to kind of look at a cell. We're not going to go specifically into which one it is or anything like that. But just be thinking that you have a cell. But you can't do much with one cell. So you need multiple cells. You can see there's multiple cells here. So just like you had your one brick, and you had multiple bricks, you have one cell. Now you have multiple cells, and that creates what's called a tissue. So you have your tissue that is now created, and then your tissue is going to come together. See all the little tissues here that comes together to create an organ. And that organ that we're looking at here, this is the brain. So you have your brain, your organ, then you have brain tissue, which is this whole big set combined, and then if you look at one individual, you have brain cells. So it would be kind of going in that opposite order. Now our last thing, we have an organ system. So we have our brain up here, that's our organ, but our brain alone, it needs other things to kind of continue to work. Like we want to build that big city. We have one building, which would be our brain organ, but we want to add upon that to build that whole city. So you would have an organ system, the brain, and you have your lungs, your heart, different things that would come together to create an organ system. We're going to go into more depth in that pretty soon. But we're just looking at our specific human body. So our organism that we have is our human. Our cells and our tissues then form our organ, form our organ system, which form our organism, which is our human, which is what we're looking at specifically. So when we think about what we learned before this, we go back to that hierarchical organization. We start with our cell, to our tissue, to our organ system, organism, and then up to population, community, ecosystem, biome, biosphere. So that's where you have your hierarchical levels of organization, your biological levels of organization. So it all kind of links together. So what I want you to do kind of an addition. What's our next step after we're done with this lesson? There are two things that are on our Google Classroom right now. You have a reading, your CK through 12 reading, and a couple of questions that you're going to be answering with that reading. And then you also have an Ed puzzle where you're going to be watching a video and answering some questions as you watch that video. Okay? So our next step after we do all of these, we're going specifically into our lab where we're going to be looking at that muscular system and kind of more about those human body systems. Okay, thanks guys. Have a wonderful day.